Here we go, kids. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. My name's Bobby Selvaggio. I've been a working jazz musician in Cleveland for 25 years now. I'm the kind of musician, I like to do a lot of different things. I like to play traditional, I like to play modern, I like to play Latin, I like to play swing, I like to play funk. This band in particular, Grassroots Movement, which again was the last record I did, I just wanted to do something that as I grew up and I listened to funk and R&B music, I wanted to do a music that was influenced by by funk and by R&B, and so that's kind of where Grassroots is. It's a jazz record. I mean, we're playing jazz music, but the underlying rhythm is funk oriented, and not even all of it. You know, some of it's Afro-Cuban 12/8, some of it's straight eighth, but that's what kind of inspired me to do this particular project, is to do that kind of music. You know, it seems like people have to label things, you know. It's just jazz, it's all really just jazz music. But there are different eras of jazz and different styles of jazz. Quite honestly, when I talk about modern jazz, I just talk about jazz that is being created today, original jazz music that's being played today. Because, you know, listen, people are still playing Dixieland music, people are still playing bebop. People are still playing a lot of styles of jazz. I mean, you know, every style from the beginning till today is being played by somebody. I just think of modern jazz music as what is happening today, in the present. You know, the styles of music that we are using to bring into jazz music, the original concepts that people are exploring with. And really, that's just it. It's just kind of a label to say, you know, this is what we're doing now versus, you know, something that has already been done before and we're just playing a version of that. So that's what modern jazz music is. It's not that they don't like it, they don't understand what this music is. So one thing that I like to do is to go around and, you know, explain what we are doing, how it relates to the history of jazz, but also how it is kind of pushing that envelope, if you will, of what is happening today and moving the music forward while sticking with the tradition. So I like to talk a lot, and you know, we just like to play. We like to have a good time. That's what you see when we play. I know my music, it gets distributed internationally, you know, not just nationally but internationally. So I have had people email me or reach out to me from other countries that have heard my record on a radio overseas or have picked up a copy of it. And they get back to me and talk about, you know, wow, you know, this is amazing, this kind of music. And the interesting thing is, they'll say, oh wait, you're not from New York. I mean, it kind of sounds like New York. Well, no, I'm from Northeast Ohio, you know, from Cleveland, Akron area. And they'll say, I didn't realize that kind of music came from that area. You know, that kind of music only comes from New York. That kind of music only comes from like the real big major cities. You know, and then I explain to them, listen, you know, everywhere where jazz is you're going to find people that are the most amazing players in the world. Northeast Ohio is not an exception by any stretch of the imagination. If we're talking musically first and jazz musicians, specifically probably Cannonball Adderley was the first musician that I really, when I heard him, I said to myself, okay, now I have to play jazz music. Charlie Parker, John Coltrane, Miles Davis, you know, all of the basic ones, Joe Henderson, Woody Shaw. But quite honestly, all the musicians I play with today are big influences, and that's not just kind of a cop-out answer. If you're really playing this music the right way, you should be influenced by everything that's happening around you, including the musicians that you are playing with here and now. I mean, these guys influence me every time we play. Why is the music that jazz musicians are playing today, why is that important, and what is the significance of that? Because that's really all that's happening. I mean, this is my version of the music that's happening today in jazz. You know, it's not like I'm doing something that nobody's ever heard of before. They've never heard it this way because it's my approach to bringing it. You know, there are debates all the time in the jazz circles of, you know, do we stray too far from the tradition? How far away from the tradition should we stray? And You know, the thing is, jazz music has always been a music that has evolved. You can start with Louis Armstrong, who is kind of the quote-unquote, you know, beginner of jazz improvisation. And the thing is, if you say, well, what is traditional, what isn't, you'd have to stop with Louis Armstrong, because every single musician that came after Louis Armstrong evolved the music. They did it from an improvisational standpoint. They did it from a the kind of music that they performed standpoint. And so that's all we're doing today. And think about this, jazz is not even 100 years old yet. It's a very young music for a very serious art form that it is. It's not even 100 years old yet. And so it's evolved very, very quickly. And you know, that's the significance, is that people today like myself are still holding true to the traditions, yet are still trying to keep the essence of what jazz is, which is evolve the music. So that's the significance. To me, the definition of a musician is to contribute something to any musical scene. If you're not doing that, then from my way of looking at it, you're not being a musician, a true definition of what a musician is. It's more than just kind of playing and performing and this. I mean, listen, I live this music, you know, day and night. I practice, I work hard, I do a lot of, you know, business things with it, I teach a lot. And so I contribute in all of those ways. I mentor young musicians. These are all things that I think are not just important, but are essential to just the whole idea of being a musician and being a jazz musician. I think too many people are passive in what they do, and that hurts the scene and it hurts the music.